Hello, our viewers. Thank you so much for being part of this family. It's our pleasure to see you again once more. Today it's another day. We are going to talk a little bit about the Bible. As I know, it's not everyone who understands the Bible easily, and some other people have even the challenge reading it because of some difficulties of understanding. And today, I wanted to start a series about understanding the Bible. It's a kind of Bible reading, and that will really help you a lot in your spiritual life. And if you are new to this channel, kindly consider to subscribe so that you can be among the first people receiving our videos whenever we are live or upload a new one. For those who don't know me, my name is King Prayer. You can call me Maombi. Today, I wanted to share this word of God with you. Without wasting so much time, we are going to start with the book of Genesis. As some of us know, the author of the book of Genesis is not identified. The author has always assumed to have been Moses. There is no conclusion reason to deny the mosaic authorship of Genesis. The book of Genesis does not state when it was written. The date of authorship is likely between 1440 and 1400, that is before Jesus Christ. Between the time Moses led the Israelites out of Egypt and his death. What is the purpose of the book of Genesis? The book of Genesis has sometimes been called the seed plot of the entire Bible. Most of the major doctrine in the Bible are introduced in seed from the book of Genesis. Along with all of men, God's promise of salvation or redemption is recorded in the book of Genesis 3 verse 15. I will make you and the woman enemies to each other. Your children and her children will be enemies. You will bite her children's foot, but they will crush your head. The doctrines of creation, imputation of sin, justification, atonement, depravity, wrath, grace, sovereignty, responsibility, and many more are all addressed in the book of origin called Genesis. Many of the great questions of life are answered in Genesis. Where did I come from? God created us. Genesis 1 verse 1. God created the sky and the earth at first. Then a human being came. So we are the fruit of creation. Don't be lying to yourself saying that we are the fruit of evolution. Why am I here? We are here to have a relationship with God. That is Genesis 15 verse 6. Which says, Abraham believed the Lord, and because of his faithful, the Lord accepted him as one who has done what is right. Where am I going? We have a destination after death. Genesis 25 verse 8. Genesis appealed to the scientist, the historian, the theologian, the housewife, the farmer, the traveler, and the man or woman of God. It is a fitting beginning for God's story of his plan for mankind, the Bible. There are some key verses. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike her heel. Genesis verse 12, 2-3. I will make you into a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be blessed. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And all people on the earth be blessed through you. Genesis 50 verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. The book of Genesis can be divided into two sections: primitive history and patriarchal history. Primitive history record creation, Genesis chapter 1 to 2. The fall of man, Genesis chapter 3 verse 5. The flood, Genesis chapter 6 verse 9. And the dispersion, Genesis chapter 10 verse 11. The patriarchal history records the level of four great men. Abraham, Genesis 12:25 to 8. Isaac, Genesis 21 verse 1 to 35 and Genesis 29. That is Isaac. Jacob, Genesis 25:21 and Genesis 50:14. Joseph, Genesis 30 to 22 and Genesis 50 to 26. God created a universe that was good and free from sin. God created humanity to have personal relationship with Him. And Adam and Eve sinned, and thereby brought evil and death into the world. Evil increased steadily in the world until there was only one family in which God found anything good. God sent the flood to wipe out evil, but delivered Noah and his family along with the animals in the ark. After the flood, humanity began again to multiply and spread throughout the world. God chose Abraham, through whom He would create a chosen people and eventually the promised Messiah. The chosen line was passed on to Abraham's son Isaac, and then to Isaac's son Jacob. God changed Jacob's name Israel, and his 12 sons became the ancestors of the 12 tribes of Israel. In His sovereignty, God had Jacob's son Joseph sent to Egypt by despicable actions of Joseph's brothers. This act intended for evil by the brothers was intended for good by God and eventually resulted in Jacob and his family being saved for a devastating famine by Joseph, who had risen to great power in Egypt. Many New Testament themes have their roots in Genesis. Jesus Christ is the seed of the woman who will destroy Satan's power. Genesis 3 verse 15. As with Joseph, God's plan for the good of mankind through the sacrifice of His Son was intended for good. Even through those who crucified Jesus intended it for evil. Noah and his family are the first of many remnant pictures in the Bible. Despite overwhelming odds and difficult circumstances, God always preserves a remnant of the faithful for Himself. The remnant of Israelites returned to Jerusalem after the Babylon captivity. God preserved a remnant through all the persecutions described in Isaiah and Jeremiah. A remnant of 7,000 priests were hidden from the wrath of Jezebel. God promises that a remnant of Jews will one day embrace their true Messiah. Romans 11. The faith displayed by Abraham would be the gift of God and the basis of salvation for both Jews and Gentiles. Ephesians 2:8 verse 9 and Hebrews 11. Practical application. The overriding theme of Genesis is God's internal existence and His creation of the world. There is no effort on the part of the author to defend the existence of God. He simply states that God is always was and always will be almighty over all. In the same way, we have confidence in the truth of Genesis, dispute the claims of those who would deny them. All people, regardless of culture, nationality, or language, are accountable to the Creator. But because of sin introduced into the world at the fall, we are separated from Him. But through one small nation, Israel, God's redemptive plan for mankind was revealed and made available to all. We are rejoiced in that plan. God created the universe, the earth, and everything living being. We can trust Him to handle the concerns in our lives. God can take a hopeless situation, e.g., Abraham and Sarah being childless, and do amazing things if we will simply trust and obey. Terrible and unjust things may happen in our lives. And with Joseph, but God will always bring about a greater good if we have faith in Him and His sovereign plan. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose. Romans 8, verse 28. That is all we had today about Genesis. And I think that you have got something from that reading done. For those who didn't get me well, I'll put the text in the description box below so that you maybe refer yourself to some of the scriptures in the reading. Thank you so much for your time, and if you liked the video, consider to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, consider to subscribe in order to receiving new videos whenever we upload. Turn on the notification bell and it will be very good. Have a lovely and wonderful time until we meet again with the book of Exodus. God bless you.